Hey there, once again, this is Santos here, enjoying a super fantastic, terrific, over the top Sunday morning. I hope that where you are today, you find yourself at peak level. I hope that your paradigms are being optimized and that confidence, which is what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, and that commitment that you need to put into practice is happening for you. You want to live more victorious. You want to be happier every single day. You want to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve in your life. You want to overcome the fear of failure, right? We're all going to fail forward. Either we're failing forward towards failing forward, or we're failing forward towards a victory, towards a success, towards something better. I believe that most people want a better outcome. We don't want to continue down the path that leads us nowhere. I remember hearing this, that you are where you are because of the choices that you have made. I remember the first time that I heard that, I didn't like it very well. That phrase didn't sit well with me. What do you mean? I am where I am because of the choices that I have made. It never occurred to me that the choices that I've made in the past, the decisions that I've made, or maybe decisions by default that were made by others for me, brought me to the place where I am. And if we truly want more, if we truly want to become better, we have to make change. We have to do some different things every single day. The meaning of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. Now, doing the same thing over and over is not bad as long as it's giving you the results that you want. But insanity is doing the same thing over and over and wishing or believing or expecting that you're going to get some kind of a different result from that, which technically does not happen. So I want to talk a little bit about confidence today, because most people appear to have a confidence, right? Most people see, it seems like to me like most people, when I talk to people, when I go out and about into town, into public places or businesses, and I talk to people, most people seem to have a confidence about them. You notice that? And of course, I'm a person that observes. I'm a thinker, I'm a brainstormer. I have an eye for detail. The problem, or the challenge that I come across, is that most people appear to have an outward confidence. It's easy to be confident when you're around other people, right? Because you don't want to look bad. You don't want to look bad. You don't want to look like you're weak. Most people don't, obviously. In fact, humility is a form of weakness, and that's something that I practice in my life every day, that I need to work at every single day. Humility. And it is a form of weakness. But proud people that think they have it all together don't realize they're blind. They honestly don't have a real sense of self-confidence, or what I call an inner confidence. And you can tell. Actually, I can generally, when I'm talking to somebody, especially face to face, I can generally tell whether that person is honestly confident in himself or herself. But I find that most people have this fake or this false confidence. And you can build confidence. I'm not saying that you have to live your life with fake and false confidence. You just got to know how to build it. You're going to have a plan of action. When you're alone, when you are alone and you go through things in life, you go through difficult experiences, you have hardships, you know whether you truly have inner self-confidence. And I know, speaking from experience, I didn't have it for many, many years. I did not have inner self-confidence. I was a very timid person. I was a very shy person. I was a very afraid person. Of course, I had a lot of trauma paradigms in my head, right? When you grow up in a violent home full of domestic disturbance and abuse and fearful sights, and you grow up in that kind of an environment, seeds are planted in your head, and as you grow older and you go through life, you find yourself doing some really strange things, especially when you're alone, or not so much when you're alone, but when you're in the crowds. But you may not necessarily know that the reason why you're doing things, in fact, most people don't even know why they do what they do. Faulty paradigms, false belief systems, right? We have a map, we have a GPS system that we all operate with up here. And it is faulty. I know mine was faulty, and I still have to work on mine every single day. I didn't have self-confidence. I didn't have it at all. And it took work. It took repetitive work. It took rituals. It took a desire, investment, financial investment, and educational investment for me to get to where I am today, that I am completely self-confident. And I'll tell you, having self-confident, having that ability is very, very, it's very rewarding. It's very, very dynamic, because it gives you ability that you've never had before. I have abilities today that I've never had before. And again, my job is to be able to transfer what I have. My job is to be able to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve on the other side. And I make a promise that if you hang around for a little bit, if you check out some of the material that I have, I guarantee you that there's going to be a serious change in your mindset. I honestly believe that. I'm going to talk more about that in my videos from now on. But as I mentioned, self-confidence is you having the ability to achieve, is you having the ability to do things that you've never been able to do before. Self-confidence is really evident in your life, especially when you're alone. That's when you're going to know if you truly have it or not. Because it's easy to put up a front in front of people. Most people do that. They want to look good. They want to talk good. They want to appear great. But when they're alone, I know, because I've talked to many people. I've interviewed, over the last year and a half, I've interviewed many people over the phone. And most of those people, if not all of them that I've spoken to, they all lacked inner self-confidence. All of them. And it's a great need today. It is a great need. I know it was a need in my life. I didn't know that I needed it. I knew something was wrong. But I'll tell you, the ability to have, when you have inner and a growing inner self-confidence in yourself, it gives you the ability to do many, many great things. I mean, from job achievement to taking risks, facing your fears, putting your fears aside, and of course you become more confident. You're able to do more every single day, and it also contributes to your inner joy. Self-confidence contributes to your inner joy. And one thing that's really, really important to me today is I don't like being negative, but I don't give a lick, and I don't give a hill of beans of what people's opinions of me is anymore. I used to be such afraid of what family members or co-workers or business people or people out in public, you got to be free to express who you want to be lawfully and righteously. And without an inner self-confidence, you won't be that person. In fact, you'll be dominated by even your own thoughts. Your own mind will dominate you because you're not confident enough to believe in yourself that you can overcome your own mindset if it's a negative one. So the opinions of other people, I tell you, that's a big fear. And it paralyzes people from going forward in life. It paralyzes people. It stops people in their tracks. That's what it does. I know because it did it to me many, many times over. So I want to ask you a question. Do you have inner self-confidence that's growing every single day? If you don't, well, there's a test. If you believe you have it, next time you're alone and you go through something very difficult, sit down and think about, or sit down and write how you feel and what's actually going on inside of you. You'll know. That's going to be your test. And I think you already know if you don't have it. It's kind of hard to talk about something you don't have. It's kind of hard to talk about or transfer something into somebody else or give it if you don't have it. And if you're struggling in areas of life continually, you're struggling, you're afraid to ask for help, you are afraid to commit, to make a commitment, as I've talked about, and it's because you lack self-confidence. You lack inner self-confidence. It's nothing to be ashamed about, but it's something to investigate, and it's something that you desperately need to look into because you need to build it. Eventually, I mean, the thought of living life without inner self-confidence, to me, is very frightening. And yet I see a lot of people, once again, I see a lot of people that are in that state, in that position. So if you don't have a plan to build inner self-confidence, you should have one. You need to have one. You need to start formulating a plan. And think about the benefits. Think about yourself with inner self-confidence every single day. How you would respond or react to people, to situations. What would you do differently if you knew that you could achieve something? If you knew that you had the ability to fail forward and not be afraid of what people or even your own thoughts would try to do to you? What would you do? What would your life be like? What would you achieve? Where would you go? You got to have a plan, my friend. You got to have a plan. I promise, if you listen, if you watch, if you pay attention to these messages, these micro speeches that I'm sharing, you will have an inner shift in your mindset. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Help me help others. Take this video, post it somewhere. I'm asking you to do a favor for me. If what I'm sharing in my videos is impacting you in a very, very positive way, help me. Let's work together to help others. Share my video on Facebook, put it on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, IBO Toolbox, and some other social media. So send it in an email to somebody that you might know, a family member. Let them listen to this crazy micro speech. So with that said, I'm going to continue to make every single day a super fantastic, terrific, over the top day, daily, in spite of and because of. I'll see you at the top on my very next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for giving yourself permission. More importantly, though, think about establishing an ongoing, a growing inner self-confidence in your own life. Peace.